2, 1.
Hi, Warriors. Coach here at TradeGATEHub.com. Our sponsor is TradeView Markets. I'm going to start off with the US dollar yen. I've been talking about the long side for weeks now, with each new support level heading higher, consecutive higher lows. We do have the BOJ this week. If it's status quo and no talk of yield control, 137.5 looks like the next magnet or target for the yen. Of course, you always have to know where you would get out of the way. And as I look at the 4-hour chart, I wouldn't want to see closes back under 133. That would change the technical picture. Otherwise, it's full steam ahead for US dollar yen. I want to talk about what we have going on in both euro, which is higher today, outperforming cable as exemplified by euro pound heading up at major resistance. But what I wanted to talk about was that last week, here's your weekly, you had what's called an inside week. Last week's range was within the prior week's range. So far this week, we've taken out last week's highs. I'm not saying that we can't make a new high for the move, but your sell signal would be if sometime later in the week, we're taking out last week's low of, it looks like 109.09, and then you would end up having an outside week to the downside. Cable hasn't quite taken out. Last week's high was 24.74, and we haven't taken that out yet. So far as the high is 24.59. So again, that exhibits the relative strength of euro, where we've already taken out last week's highs in the euro, and cable hasn't done it yet. But it has the same potential for setting up an outside week to the downside. So we take out last week's highs and then start trading under last week's lows of looks like 23.50. You're going to have a sell signal that'll probably take you to 120 and this major support at 118. And even though the dollar is a bit weaker, gold is not up today. It's still my contention that if you're patient, you'll be able to buy this market. Under 1900, the big test is going to come in at 1930 if we get there. Silver is much weaker, which shows up in the gold-silver ratio, which looks to have bottomed last week. This also could be a bullish sign for the dollar. Gold-silver ratio, when it's going down, is usually dollar weakness, and when it's going up, it's normally dollar strength. So I wouldn't really be pushing the short side of this gold-silver ratio. I would think that there's potential for a recovery back towards 84 to 86, where the breakdown was. Now, the big story of the week, and it's something I made everyone aware of, was that I thought that Bitcoin would break down. I actually had targets at 30,500. I was off a bit. We got to 30,620. Was that the high? Yeah, 30,614. So that was pretty close. I thought 30,005, and then we had this breakout failure and barely holding on to the 50-day moving average. I think this market's still vulnerable. I thought that it was going to be risk off in stocks. It took it down. It doesn't matter what the reason was, but now you'll know what to do with wave 4 triangles. You look for one more thrust, and then if you don't have the courage to short new highs because of divergence, you wait for it to negate the breakout. And that was a good signal. I'm still looking for lower in crypto. Yields are kind of a coin toss for me. GDX, I still think there's corrective action back down to 31. I think you could wait to buy the gold shares. And when I look at something like copper, it's really not looking that great to me. I know we've been on both sides of this pivot, but to me, it looks like there's weakness. I guess you could associate that with the Aussie weakness, that even when the dollar's weak, Aussie can't make much progress. This to me looks just like consolidation before another move down. Could we try 68 again? Yes. And I want to wrap it up with a couple of the stocks that I think are going to pave the destiny for the market. And when you look at it, Apple is a whole banana. Apple is a flight to quality trade for stock traders. And in fact, they consider it the gold of the stock market. See how it held up all through the bear market that we had last year, holding 130, compared to every other FANG stock that has already suffered big losses and are now only in failing rallies. So keep an eye on Apple. This is going to be the key to the market. It's very overowned and would be vulnerable to liquidation. And I know I've showed Microsoft a couple of times. I just want to show you again. And it's a lesson in when you should be skeptical of buying a breakout. And here we go. So here's the daily on Microsoft. Okay. Here was the breakout. Oh, you missed it. Mr. Market's going to give you another chance to buy it. Oh, you missed it. Mr. Market's going to give you another chance to buy it. Yeah, I think Friday's lows were here. Yeah, 83. So we're under 82. We have a false breakdown in Microsoft. It's much closer to doing that than Apple is. And in fact, when you look at Microsoft, it's just a failing rally, whereas Apple was on the verge of another good week or two making new highs. This looks like it could just be corrective, just like NVIDIA. So we got a breakdown in Microsoft and the semi-leader, something I talked about as well. NVIDIA had a very nice 3 drive to a top formation. See if I could find it here. Here we go. So this was your 3 drive. Right. Here's drive 1, here's drive 2, and look at drive 3, the glaring divergence between the two. So we'll see, this could be setting up for a break. It's been the leadership in the semis, and the semis are just basically sitting right on support. They look a bit vulnerable to me. Here's the semis. You can see them right at support here. So we can get one more blow off to give us a 3, or are we rolling over here and on our way to 220? I'll go with the B option. I invite everyone to join us here at TradeGATEHub.com. I have a very special interview tomorrow with Tom McClellan. His parents developed the McClellan oscillator. Tom's work is elite. He's a regular contributor on CNBC, and we're lucky to have him tomorrow. So tune in. It will be taking place at 1 p.m. EST. That's 10 a.m. PST. Tune in for Tom McClellan. His handle is at McClellan OSC, OSC. And Mike will be with you in about 90 minutes to update you on what he's seen on the board. Don't miss that. Remember, don't just count your pips, count your blessings. Good hunting. And I'll see you tomorrow. I'll be here with Mike, and then I have Tom McClellan a little later after that. See everyone tomorrow. Don't just count your pips, count your blessings. Talk to you on Turnaround